Here with a quick video podcast for you. I've been hearing a lot of conversation this week about traditional budgets, right? Traditional spending versus digital spending versus social spending. And I've had this conversation with Matt here before, and I know a lot of you guys know Matt Welch as getting a lot of credit from Cobalt and from others for knowing how to build a brand around his dealership and how to effectively spend that ad budget. So I wanted to explore that.
Since he didn't brand it, it's Matthew Welch, Auburn, Volkswagen, just south of Seattle, Washington.
That's right. All those things are important too. So Matt, let me fire the first question at you here. Matt's been kind enough to share, break open, if you will, a little bit of the secret success here. And we were doing some tabulations on what your ad budget is. Show me how we broke down here.
Well, we're about $40,000 a month, which is, as any car dealer would say, too high. No matter what the level is, it's always too high. We are 20% traditional, which for us is TV, and it's running right now on the Mariners, and it's working because they're in first place, and we're using actual Seahawks players on the Mariner games. So in Seattle, the Seahawks and Mariners.
You can't argue with results.
Yeah.
Like MLB standings.
And then we're spending another 20% on social, and that includes production. Now, over the years in my 20 group, they've looked at me like I'm nuts for spending $2,500 a month on production. But every year for the last probably 9 years, I say I'm going to spend 30 grand a month, 30 grand a year, $2,500 a month making videos. And now, 10 years later, it's paying off big time because we've got over 350 videos on our YouTube channel and our Vimeo channels and different. But we have all this content, and no matter when we choose to leave a website or make a new website, all of those vendors come and go, but the content, you own it, and it goes with you. And so over the years, when things have happened, TDI, Volkswagen, those type of things, we immediately go to the front page because we've got so much content. So sometimes you want to suppress that and have it not be out there, but you can control it because you own the content. So it's been an investment. Now we're up to $3 grand a month this year in production, and then about $4 grand a month on social, being YouTube, which we were just going over our YouTube metrics, the number of views we're getting, what we're trying to do with them, how many videos we're serving. Now, because we've created all this content over the years, we can just tweak videos. I just showed Andrew 4 videos. We're going to attack a new thing. He's going to go home and tweak these 4 30-second videos.
And for me, being the video guy, it's so much easier to work with a guy like Matt that actually spends a portion of this budget on creating personality content. Reasons to buy from him, local people to help share his message, involvement in the community. When those assets exist, it's so much easier to pull them into an off-the-cuff idea, an ad, a conquest channel, because he has things to talk about. So that's actually why I drug you guys out here to do this, was that I've had this conversation with a few dealers, and what they don't do is they'll break this whole thing down, and they're all different forms of distribution. They're all different people that you write a check to get views, but there's no allocation on the budget to make something worth watching. I mean,
creating content in today's day and age, the number one thing we found with millennials and with everybody is tell your story. Well, a vendor can't necessarily tell your story the way you can tell it. So you've got to create that content that tells your story. That's the differentiator today in today's market, is telling your story. So we have 20% between social and production, 20% traditional. The other 60% is what we call digital. In that, it's a lot, but you've got your, sometimes you call them necessary evils, but listing. So you've got autotrader.com, kellybluebook.com, edmunds.com, every Car Gurus, everywhere you list your cars. Everyone has a certain budget for that, and that's a huge chunk of your ad budget. We consider that advertising budget. And then you've got SEM, SEO, paid search. That's a chunk for new and used cars. And then in digital, we had something else.
Well, and I think one of the more important things here is
your website.
The way you have your spending the way it is, that comes and it goes. There's ebb and there's flow. But like you said, back in the day, there was investments that he was making in content that didn't pay out, right? So imagine a savings account. You put your first $10 in, not a big deal. Your interest is 2 cents. But the more money you put in, the bigger that account becomes, the bigger that interest becomes, and you get a snowball effect. You can spend as much money as you want on SEM or on your website, but when that month's over and those leads have been washed, that money's gone. So that's your only way to retrieve that return on investment is to sell a car. Whereas with the content, you had 5,000 worth or 3,000 worth of content in your first month, 30,000 in the first 10 months, 60,000 in the first 20 months, and now that you have $100,000, $80,000 worth of content, it's something that you can't run from. There's nowhere to hide.
No, and the other thing is, it's when we started making it, we didn't think we'd ever be able to use it on YouTube or Facebook or different things all those years ago.
That's true
Now
too, yeah.
we own all this content. We can chop it, boom, use it for YouTube, use it for Facebook, and we're going back and forth, YouTube and Facebook, Pinterest, different channels. We can Yelp. I mean, we can do so much with this stuff. But looking at your social media, your reputation management, all of the stuff is where people are. We would love to do away with all the listings of our cars eventually, someday maybe.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but this video content is so valuable to us now because it's like a new toy. It's like we're deciding where can we cut to spend more of this, because the social we're seeing payoff, and then what is the payoff? Is it because you got 6 cents a view? Is it because 75,000 people liked it? Is it or got served it? How are you presenting the content? There's so much you can do, and the neatest thing is it's not that daunting. But when you have experts like Andrew, I mean, this guy's like a kid in a candy shop right now with this stuff because
it's a good time to be alive for a video
he's
guy.
doing all the figuring out, and as a dealer, I have bandwidth for about an hour a month with this guy total, right? So because he's living it, doing it. So if you can spare an hour a month for a social content driven video strategy, you just turn the key and he does it. And
So
that's the coolest
here's the
thing.
main-
Then he comes in 2 weeks later and shows me we got 75,000 people, 4,500 new people. We're hitting them 6 times a week for this and 4 times. I mean, it's
It makes
really
it easy because we have content. I didn't invent Facebook or YouTube, and neither did the concepts that we'd like to push are not original to us, but the traction is there because the content is there. So if there's one key takeaway that I can leave you guys with, everybody's gonna have a different breakdown on their budget, different spends that they'd like to have, but what the key takeaway is here, social, like Matt just said, is the best return on investment. Everybody agrees on that, but it's a smaller portion of their entire budget because you can't continue to spend on distribution more and more and more and more and not have anything to say. So if you've hit the ceiling, if you've hit the ceiling on what you can spend on distribution for having these ads going out, then that's the part where you can spend a little bit more to create content that'll stay on your website, stay in your media channels, stay as part of your business, and grow equity over time. But that's where that additional social budget should go, creating your own content to add stickativity to your brand.
Right.
And another thing
Tell
that's
your
not
story.
mentioned here is, you're buying that stuff for social, but talk to us a little bit about how you're using that content then in your digital, in your traditional, and how it really becomes part of your whole...
cross-channel. So when you make we just looked at a couple hundred videos, but when you make the 6 we made in the last 2 weeks, called a couple of the players down here. We made some for some of the nonprofits we work with for foster kids. We did one for fatherlessness. We did one for bully prevention in the public schools in Tacoma, and we had the players help us with this. Well, now that content goes onto Facebook, it goes onto YouTube, it goes into pre-roll, it goes into our website. We make TV commercials out of it. That same content can be used for all of it. But when you get a video guru like Andrew, you can it just keeps working. It keeps working. So as we keep making content, we make a couple a month. It's not intimidating. Andrew comes out, asks you a couple questions on camera, and you got it. It's that easy. I mean, we literally filmed 8 of them a couple weeks ago
Couple days.
in about an hour. Yeah.
So everybody's got an ad budget. Don't be afraid to make those ad expenditures. You have to spend money to make money, but don't also be afraid to make investments in yourself and in your business. You want your sales guys building pizza boxes and magnet cards and things to build a business for themselves inside your dealership. Don't be afraid to build business assets for yourself so you can go do business online.
And spending money on social isn't like spending with another vendor that's going to guarantee this or guarantee. You're talking to audiences. You can see it, track it, see how many people watched it, how many people didn't, how many times the impressions. It's all right there. The metrics are all right here. So there's no mystery. There's no black box. It's all right there.
All right, that's it. I want to let Matt get back to work. I hope this has been high punch, high value for you. So look for me on the next one, and feel free to secret shop Matt to death.
Don't watch the videos. They cost money.
No, just look away.
Go Hawks.
Beautiful. Matt, thank you, sir.
You got it, bro.
It's unbelievable.